This is an incident related to the great singer M.S. Subbulakshmi Amma that I heard a few years ago. There was a concert by her and one of her best students, and first her student sang a song on Narayana, and after the song was over, the audience was all very excited. They cheered and clapped and everything. And after that, M.S. Subbulakshmi came onto the stage and she sang the exact same song. But now, after she sang the song, the audience was in pin drop silence. Many of them were in tears, and nobody wanted to clap or make any sounds and disturb that powerful stillness that pervaded the hall. And later, when she was asked by somebody as to why there was this difference in the response of the audience for the same song, she said, she's supposed to have said, that my student sang for the audience and I sang for Lord Narayana. Now, I'm not trying to contrast the singers, that's a different thing, but I'm trying to look at the contrasting experiences of the audience. The first experience that they went through can be called Rajasic. It was exciting, it was energizing, it was intense. That is Rajasic type of intensity. And the second one, which made them go into some kind of potent silence, powerful stillness, dynamic stillness, which was also intense, can be correlated to Satwik intensity. The first type of intensity is usually well known, everybody understands that, and usually everybody runs after, tries to pursue such kind of intensity, the Rajasic intensity. And the Satwik intensity is not so much experienced by people in their life, but we can see in such examples what Satwik intensity actually is. In fact, if you actually look at it, the second one, the Satwik intensity, was more intense than the first one. In the example, the intensity was induced by an external aid, singing, music, but the pursuit of human being is to be able to experience this intensity without any external aid and by ourselves, and that is meditativeness. That is what we are all pursuing in different ways through different methods. It is one unfortunate thing that has happened in spiritual circles and even in general understanding of people, that spirituality and sattva means some kind of placidity, peace and placid kind of thing. Yes, it is peaceful, but we are not acknowledging usually the other aspect of that peace. That peace is not just placidity. That peace is very powerful silence. It is actually super intense. It is even more intense than the other intensities that we know of. So it is something like this. If we have to give a simple metaphor, there is electromagnetic spectrum, and the very low frequency ones like radio waves and microwaves and whatever, they are not visible to the human eye. If you increase their frequency, it comes to the visible light range and it becomes visible. But if you increase the frequency further, it again becomes invisible. So now, if you go by the criterion of visibility and invisibility, you have to divide the spectrum into just two types, visible and invisible. But actually there are three. There is the very low frequency, then there is intermediate, and then there is very high frequency also, like this gamma rays and X-rays, and they are even more intense than the visible frequency. Their intensity is much more. They can penetrate through walls, but it is just that they are not visible. So you can correlate this to tamas, rajas and sattva. Rajas is anyway easily understood, it is always visible, it is easily expressed and visible to everybody. So we say Rajasic intensity is very easily acknowledged and everybody runs after that. But what we don't acknowledge so easily is that there is a super intense state, but that is not visible to the naked eye. It's not visible so easily. So it is generally confused to be some kind of placidity, some kind of docile thing, peace and such things. So when we say spirituality, when we say meditativeness, it is that intense, it is that super intense state which we looked into in that example, what people felt when that devotional song was sung, and that potent silence, that dynamic stillness that they felt. If that is not happening to us, spirituality is not happening. This is just a very simple thumb rule that we have to remember. If this kind of intensity is not happening to us, spirituality is not happening. No matter how many beautiful words we try to decorate our sadhana with, we can use many beautiful words to decorate ourselves. But if we have to remember this, if sattva is actually not happening to us, if this kind of potent silence, if this kind of dynamic stillness, if this super intense state, sitting by myself, not because I'm doing something outside and not because someone else is doing something to me, nothing like that. Just by myself, I am super alive, super aware, very intense. If we are not moving towards this, meditativeness is not happening, inquiry is not happening, devotion is not happening, or whatever you call it, whatever path, whatever name you call it. All these are names: meditativeness, inquiry, devotion, all these are names for this super intense state of sattva. So whether we use inquiry or devotion or anything else, whether we use intellect or emotion, whatever the means may be, whatever the method may be, if such intensity is not happening, then whatever we do is either remaining very lousy and mechanical, meaning it is tamasic, or it is becoming some kind of titillating drama, rajas, at the most rajas. Sattva is not yet happening. So we can remember that example, or many such things happen around us, to kind of see if spirituality is actually happening, whether sattva is actually happening. Because only that kind of intensity, only that sattvic intensity has the ability to melt one away, to diffuse that individuality which is held, which is constipated at all other times. Only that sattvic intensity has the ability to diffuse it.